If you have questions, I'm here and I will see you in virtual reality.
So over time, there might be some animals coming in and out, but what I realized is that it does take some time. And then once you do the recording and then you play, you realize sometimes how long it actually took to bring in the animals. So there will be some forest animals gathering for the full moon.
It's a magical forest. And this field of, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it makes me think of fireflies.
Wow.
It's funny, this statue almost looks a lot like the aspen tree.
My answer is 11.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think I missed some. I counted only 9.
And yeah, I don't know the answer either, because for me it's also difficult too. Like that was one of the challenges that I found. I don't know who has the correct answer, but thank you. And how did you feel?
I will tell you, one of the things that my hope to the virtual meditation was really powerful for me. I meditate here and there, and I do certain things, but when I was first told we were going to do a virtual meditation, my thought was, that doesn't make any sense. Like, well, we're going to do a virtual we're going to go into this world of like visual delight, and then everybody's going to close their eyes and meditate. That doesn't make any sense. And my experience couldn't have been more different. It basically, we went to this temple in Tibet, and everybody kind of with their avatars met with each other, and we saw the stars and a number of different things, and then there's one person led a meditation and had you close your eyes. And it was interesting for me because I felt connected to the people that was there, but it also, with virtual reality, knowing that they couldn't see me, also got rid of some of my insecurities that I might have had if I was meditating in person, if that makes any sense. Even little things of like, oh, I wonder if they're looking at me funny, or, oh, I just made a noise that's silly. That just sort of all went away, and I was able to really enjoy the meditation. Just one example of, and I'm not overly spiritual, but that like it really I felt connected to everybody that was in the space.
So if you actually wanted us to feel like we were walking along beside you or at street level, would you like have to put the camera down on like a skateboard and roll it along or something? By the way, I changed my mind. I think you should position the camera so we feel like we're standing in the back of the truck.
Ooh. we do that once in a while. We could probably get a cooler and share some drinks too.
I just felt present with that person, and my body responded accordingly. And it just lands on you how much this technology can potentially change the way we socialize, work, educate, train, hold events, all these sorts of things. So I always wondered, what would it be like if educators could have a magic wand? Where would we be holding class? What kind of experiences would we be creating? And that's what I hope to give you all a glimpse of tonight as we dive into Engage, and just kind of take it on a whim, which one of my favorite things is to start with a blank slate and just see where your creative mind takes you, because that's where we're at with virtual reality these days, is real-time creation. Grabbing reality with your phones and bringing it in, creating something in a third-party art application and bringing it in, images, videos, you name it. We have access to everything in VR, and we get to play. So let's hop on in.
This patient here has a weak heart, I think you could see.
Thank goodness. I was a little worried about what you were going to show us.
So we have to add a little, and we'll see what's going on. He complained of a headache, so we'll stick that.
No, that's disturbing.
We'll stick the endoscope, and there's his brain. Oh wait, there's something in there. Yeah,
something living in his brain.
Is there a jellyfish in his brain?
I think that's what's causing the headache. So
I don't know if you want to feed that thing.
That's a good one.
And it goes back to Confucius. I hear, I forget, I see and remember, and I do and understand. I love applied multimodal learning, and this is why I have gravitated towards sim education. When we set up a simulated environment, we're trying to create a feeling of being there, a presence. We want the learner to be fully immersed, whether it is a scenario of taking care of a patient in an intensive care unit or someone in a doctor's office. We want to create a high fidelity immersive experience, and I think that is the best way to leverage and our knowledge knowledge as educators and get people to, ultimately change their behavior. Being in healthcare, and it's kind of embarrassing. Sometimes I look at some of the modules and it's people are like have YouTube clips and it's just like this really boring person talking about a procedure. So it's really nice to kind of use this technology to bridge the gap and again, provide some multimodal learning that is not just looking at a YouTube video.
Volunteer. Oh, wait. It looks like the growth hormone is, we put in too much growth hormone.
Oh, God.
Goodness.
So, I don't know. We better leave before his lawyer arrives.
This is tubes, wires, drains, bells, whistles, monitors. We want to make sure we recreate this environment. Well, this is really hard to do. It's really expensive. It's really time consuming. But we'd rather someone train in this than to go in. And of course, we have clinical time and clinical practice, but sometimes in clinical, you don't always get the scenarios that you would get in the simulation lab. We still need to use simulation in person, but we're using virtual reality to augment that learning. Literature in simulation shows that there is a deterioration of your skills and knowledge within 3 months. Well, you can only imagine when we put on those large scale events, using those rooms and setting up the mannequins and getting everybody in, it's a major task. We can do that maybe once a year or once a semester. So what about all that in between time? So this is where technology and using something that allows the learner to have some asynchronous time is of the utmost importance, because we want to have that repetitive practice.
So Michael, I understand that they don't render full bodies; they render just a torso. But I saw my full body with no head in that room.
Oh yeah. Wow.
When Steph was dancing in the camera, I was standing behind her, headless.
Yeah, it's a pretty
Although we
strange
saw your
room.
head.
Yeah.
One other point, you mentioned the legs, and Mark Zuckerberg gets beat up often by the fact that his avatars don't have legs. I think it's really funny that people have chosen to really tunnel vision on the lack of legs. It's interesting to me that that's been something that, of all the things we care about, like I want better elbows. I want inverse kinematics to work better. I'd sacrifice the bottom half for better arm movements any day. Yeah, fingers, why not?
Jeremy became a mentor and a good friend for me. He's a VR advocate, but he's not, as you'll meet him, he's not someone that will say VR is this panacea that everybody should use. He's realistic about it can be used for perilous reasons as well as advantageous reasons.
And then third is the fact that there is this growing set of tools in virtual reality to make collaborative mediums that are a lot more engaging, that are a lot more immersive, and that they all use avatars. And as you all know, avatars can be quite problematic. Just in general, avatars can be great from a social context because you can express your identities in ways that maybe weren't possible in person, where you can represent yourself as this more fantastical character. Everybody has a different version of it and doesn't quite look like yourself. But as you get more and more into a business context, where the stakes are a bit higher, where you have to communicate things and build trust. But what's missing from this is actually telepresence. This thing that's not an avatar and better than a video conference, right? It retains the visual fidelity of a video conference, but adds some of those communication channels that we're missing in the video conference. And that's what this demo today is going to be about. It's about telepresence, its ability to bring your full form 3D, right? One of the important things that we talk about with our customers is, for example, if you're a software engineering manager, if your engineer had a really bad night, right? Were they up all night and they have bags under their eyes and crazy hair? That kind of subtlety is going to be missing from an avatar. You're still going to be representing this more fantastical view of yourself. So with us, what you see is what you get, right? We take what we're seeing from the cameras, we're stitching that into a 3D form all in real time. No scanning. The second you get in front of the cameras, you're off to the races.
At this Perk University.
Right.
Wow.
Oh.
I feel like if I can make a small place that is common, but then less boring, less scary for kids, that would be awesome. Even my dog
nice
hates to go to the hospitals. So there we are.
Yeah, also thinking of augmented reality, like when you do see the normal office, but then you have some of those animals also there. That's really cool.
Yeah. So, what about you, Zihan? What challenges did you
face while you were building the space?
I think the search functionality is pretty shitty.
Yes.
I want to.
Yes. I love doing this stuff. I love the social aspect of what VR brings to the table. So it's been really, really a pleasure being in this class, being part of it, and getting to know each of you guys. So thank you so much for this.
But the secret to VR that everyone forgets, that you can just close your eyes. And it is actually counterintuitive for a lot of people because, right, if you can't just, if you're in dangerous situations in real life, you can't just close your eyes. And people generally, because of the presence of where you are cognitively, it's hard to remember, like, oh wait, I can close my eyes. So that's I'm glad you bring that up.
Awesome. Well, it was great meeting everyone.
Yeah, can we hug?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Those were really amazing scenes you guys all put together.
I don't know.
Did you feel the haptics to all your hands? Was anybody's hands? If you shake hands, you can feel.
Really?
Shake hands. Make sure you shake hands. With everybody.
There's a little haptics. Yes, there's a little haptics.
You get a little haptic.
Yeah, we have haptics also.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for your show.
There it is.
Bye-bye.
Bye.